Alright, now I know I haven't put up last week's video still, but I'm going to go ahead and do this week's and hopefully put these both up soon. I'm going to start with what I started with last week, which was torrenting. Like I said, it's books I'm torrenting, maybe thinking about putting on my pull list, but I'm torrenting to give them a test run before I invest the money in them because comics are expensive nowadays. First up, Invincible Iron Man number 523. I quit reading Iron Man back at 500. This is a peek in to see what's going on, see how it's going. I take that back. I didn't quit reading it then. I gave it a few more issues. I quit reading about the time they went into the Stark Resilient company. It took 9 issues just for him to build the damn company. I didn't care enough. It was a year of him and the Hammer Industry girls. It was boring as hell. The first arc was completely boring. The second part of it was good. The six final issues were actually not too bad. First part boring as hell. I decided to drop it because Matt Fraction, especially Fear itself, took forever. Issue 3 should have led into issue 6, maybe, then 7. All that us stuff building up should have been in the side books, the Avenger books, because it was just the Avengers teaming up, reeling with the consequences, which should have been done in the Avenger books. Even Bucky's death should have been taken care of in an Avengers book. I mean, I like the fact they acknowledged it. Should have been taken care of in an Avengers book, in my opinion. So he takes forever to write stuff, and I don't like it. When he takes over Fantastic Four, I was thinking about picking those up. Not going to now. But that said, this issue was okay. It looks like they're winding down that storyline, which they kind of have to, bringing in Marvel now with Karen Gillan. I don't really know how to pronounce the guy's name, but he's taking it over. So I might look into it then. Sensational Spider-Man number 330, sorry, 33 number 2.2. Like last week's issue wasn't that good. So far of the 50th anniversary Spider-Man books they're doing, the best was Peter Parker from the start of the month. Moving on to DC, before Watchmen, Rorschach number 1. It was okay. I'm not a big Watchmen fan. I like the book. I'm not a big Alan Moore fan, actually. I like the stuff he does, but I hate him as a person. I hate to say it. I've never met the dude, but he just seems like a douche in interviews and everything. He does all this work, refuses to acknowledge it because he's been screwed over. You know what? People get screwed over all the time by their bosses. You realize he needs to realize now that he would be calling the shots the way he is, as big as his name is. If he went back, he could have done these before Watchmen again. He could have done it himself. I mean, he was offered the chance to. I mean, he asked to do some prequel stuff when the book first came out, and they said no. But now he's basically saying no. Since you said no, I don't want to do it. Fuck you. These are my characters. You shouldn't be dealing with them. Well, no, they're not. These characters were originally not gonna be used. They were, yes, he created these characters, but they were originally going to use some other comic book company that characters that DC had bought, and they said no, we have plans for these guys. Create your own. Come with your own, and we'll put it out, and sign it over to us, of course, because that's how it was back then. Well, so this whole storyline was barely changed for these characters, where if I remember correctly. So he needs to stop being a douche. He could easily come back and run the table on all these people. I know he got pissed at Marvel because he allowed them to reprint some of his stuff, and he wrote something for them. And when the trade came out that he wrote it for, his name was taken out, and they came out and apologized, said it was a printing error, which it could have been. He's like, no, fuck you guys, screw you all, I hate you all. I don't like him. He's too much of a prima donna. That was too much long of a rant for that bastard. So his books are good. These books are good. The Before Watchmen, I'm not really all that into. I had a copy of Watchmen. I wound up giving it to somebody. I'm not the biggest fan of Watchmen. So as much as I enjoy the book, the movie, none of these are gonna be on my pull list. I'm liking the Night Owl one, which I'll talk about when it comes out more. But I'm not even getting that. This was a good look into Rorschach's mind, but eh. Wonder Woman number 12 ended the Gods storyline, which I might have picked it up except for this. Now we're bringing in the New Gods. I don't know enough about the New Gods to pick up the book and justify reading it, so I'm not going to. Green Lantern Corps number 12 was a nice little finish to John Stewart being arrested, and basically the complete destruction of the Alpha Corps lanterns by one of their own. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely gonna have to start picking it up. I think I must pick it up starting next month, the zero month, so I can be ready for the third army. Now, moving on to this month's stuff. Actually, no. Also something I mentioned last week. This is actually last month's issue of Batman Arkham Unhinged number 4. The great thing about this, last week I said I didn't know it was in it. I peeked it back through it, and I thought it was in the other issue. This issue has a great little 5-page mini story about how the people in Arkham City are seeing Batman different ways, and it's basically talking about the skin packs you can download for Batman Beyond. The cartoon opens with Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, all these different little skin packs. Earth One, the 1970s skin pack, they're all in there. That was really interesting. Next up, Catwoman number 12. After next month, when I get her origin story, like I'm going to do for all the Bat titles, I'm dropping it. I'm done. I don't care. The only good little thing is Spark, the guy who was going to betray her, her lover who's going to betray her, got killed by her partner. I wrapped that up, but in all honesty, it started out strong. Judd Winnick, I really actually like his writing. It started out strong, but this I just have to drop. Next up, Avengers VS X-Men number 10. Let me get it in frame there. Not the biggest fan of. Let's move. Oh, I have more room. I'm not the biggest fan. This has been hit and miss with me the whole time it's been running. This last issue, Cyclops pops into the Iron Fist city. Really cool. Then all of a sudden, he gets fought off with a dragon. Not so cool. The only cool thing is Hope channels. Since she can channel mutant power, somehow she channels the power of the dragon and hurt Cyclops, who, a couple of the other Phoenixes have been destroyed. Phoenix 5 have been destroyed, so he's pretty damn powerful. He's got half a Phoenix in him now. And he's hurt for like 50 minutes or something like that. She transfers him on the moon and just punches him down there. And he's in the whole crater screaming for 50 minutes or something like that before he can even get up. It was pretty interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that wraps up. But the issue itself, the ending was great. The issue itself, altogether, This Red Hood, I'm going to drop this after the 0 month just because, quite frankly, Kenneth Rockford's leaving. I love the dude. His art's amazing. I met him at a con. He's pretty much the nicest creator I've ever met in my life. I didn't have much money at that con. I just got him to sign one thing for me. He actually chased me and my friend down and gave us a bunch of free swag. Coolest guy. He's moving on to Superman. So is Scott Lobdell, who's staying with this book. And I'm hoping that they're a great team, I think. And I'm hoping they'll be able to bring some cohesion to the book. Maybe not. So this is okay. Corey and her sister decide to stop being, it turns out the whole rival, we hate each other thing was a ruse, and they're going to go down and save the planet. That's about it. Next up, Avengers number 29. Should have been put out earlier. It's something that takes place, they try to take out the X-Men's telekinetic people minds, whatever I'm thinking, psychics, there we go. Trying to take them out in battles, and they decide to use Hope, and that turns out not to be Hope, turns out to be Professor X. And then Professor X realizes he can't do it. He can't fight his own people, his own children. So these people he looks at like his own children, the people he loves. So he puts everybody to sleep. Tells Steve Rogers, "Don't ever call me on me again to do this. I can't do it. I love these people too much. I'm just going to sit this one out," which is what he tries to do. Looks like he's going to get pulled back in here in the next month. But it was interesting. It should have been done earlier because this actually takes place before the current number 10, couple of issues, probably I think 8. So it should have been put out last month. Same with the Wolverine. Something happens in this that ties into Wolverine and the X-Men a couple months earlier. Should have been out earlier. They've all been little one-shots. They can be switched back and forth, and they should have done that. That's just how I feel. Next up, Green Lantern number 12. The only really big thing from this issue is Black King gets his hand on the Book of Black. Sorry. Anyways, it should have been put out. Apparently it's a little bit out of whack because Jeff Johns said the annual that's coming out in 2 weeks, he wouldn't do one unless he messed something up with the issue numbering, which apparently he did because we've got one coming. But it's going to be finished there. But the neat little thing that comes out of this is the Black Book has been changed to say that Hal Jordan, on every page, Hal Jordan will be the greatest Black Lantern there ever was. So I'm looking forward to that. Pick of the week, Nightwing number 12, kind of wraps up what's been going on for a couple issues and prior. Back like issue 2 or 3, Nightwing saved some criminals in a car. This guy turned out to be one of them, I think. Definitely his friends that he kills in that got killed in the prior issue were in there. And so we're gonna see how that gets you see how that gets taken care of. He finally fights the dude, and the cop that's been hating on Nightwing and trying to frame him for murder apologizes and everything, winds up saving his butt. Interesting. I'm really digging Nightwing. I've been buying old trades from the comic shop I frequent. I got Nightwing Year 1, Nightwing A Darker Shade of Justice, and then The Hunt for Oracle I think is the other one. I haven't gotten that yet. It's in my box. But I'm really digging the Chuck Dixon run. I'm really digging this run of Nightwing. That was my pick of the week. Now my flashback pick of the week is actually Captain America: Two Americas. This is Bucky's first adventure after Steve came back. This is 602 is where it started. It was right after Captain America Reborn. They quit doing Captain America for a couple months while Reborn was coming out, and then they finally came back. And Bucky fights the old Cap from the 50s who went all crazy. And it's a great little story. Kind of has allusions to the Tea Party and everything. I really enjoy it. You should definitely go check this out.